It's Kels back at it again with another Friday Night Live. I promised you that each and every Friday night I would go live and show my face. So here I go, here I go, here I go. Back at it again as promised. This is week 47, consistent of our Friday night kickbacks. And yeah, it's week 47. You know, it's only 52 weeks in a year. It's only 52 weeks in a year, and we are on week 47. I mean, we got to cheers to that. Cheers to the consistency. Cheers to the showing up. Cheers to the keeping our word. Keeping our word. Cheers to reconnecting with the collective, learning from the collective wisdom of the ISKELS community, and all of that. Let's cheers to that right at the onset of our tonight's live. All right, let's cheers. Clink, 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 clink. Mhm. It's H2O for the doll, lubricating that throat chakra. No alcohol, nothing like that. I haven't really been having anything to sip on recently. I just haven't been in the mood. Um, yeah, it's just been H2O for the doll. But with that being said, seeing 111 on the clock if you're into numbers like I am. With that being said, today is the day after Thanksgiving. It is Black Friday, capitalistic Black Friday. It is also leftover day, national leftover day, where pretty much we just sit down, chill, relax, and eat as many leftovers as we want. And so I just wanted to wish you guys an amazing happy Thanksgiving. And yeah, all of that, all of that. I can see that the feed is coming in good. Want to make sure that it's looking good. Yeah, it's looking good and all of that. So as you can see from the title of this video, rest is essential to manifesting your dreams. Rest is the missing ingredient. I thought it was really, really fitting to talk about rest tonight because I feel like this is a day that most of us rest. The days leading up to the days after the holiday season can be like crazy, right? So after Halloween, if you have children or if you're into Halloween or anything like that, it's kind of crazy around then. And then we kind of go right into Thanksgiving and getting the food ready and the cooking and where we're going to be and are we flying and are we not doing this? And Thanksgiving, and then comes Christmas or Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, and it's like, where are we gonna, who's gonna be? And it's a lot going on already on top of our really hectic lives, especially if you're in a Western kind of civilization like we are here in the States, right? So it's so hectic. And then to pile on the holiday season on top of that, and then to pile on the financial obligation of buying gifts and buying food and, flying here and flying there and, driving here and driving there and trying to make sure that your children and your family and your loved ones have this amazing holiday. And so you're trying to think and spend money and all of that. And it can just be extremely taxing and stressful on top of our already super stressful, super already kind of taxing life. And so I thought, okay, today's the day after Thanksgiving. This is usually the day that all the food is already made. There's no cooking going on today because everything was already cooked yesterday and everybody just eating leftovers today. So what would be the perfect thing to talk about today? And that was rest. And not only did I think that this was good to talk about today, I also really have been working on this for the past week myself. And it's not only been rest that I've been working on or sleeping or, zoning out on Netflix or zoning out on TikTok or something like that. I haven't been, that's not really the rest I'm talking about here. We'll get more into it, but just to give you a little bit of background on the topic, why rest has been a huge thing for me this week is because I've been journaling and thinking about and pondering on and meditating on a lot about allowing well-being into my life, allowing things to be done for me, allowing grace, allowing resting, relaxation, just not always having to be the driver and at the forefront of everything, not always trying to use every mental faculty that I have at my disposal to try to drive towards some goal or to be in this toxic productivity that we seem to be so addicted to. And we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later in the live. But instead of being wrapped up in this frenetic frenzy of producing and trying to get stuff done and feeling productive and and doing one more thing for the day and only needing 4 hours sleep and being in this hustle culture where they make it seem like rest is not necessary. This entire week for me has been just this gentle reminder day after day after day, as I've been practicing my meditation day after day after day, this reminder and this gentle kind of reassurance that rest is necessary for any manifestation that you're trying to bring in. And if you're not putting rest into the recipe, if you're not putting relaxation and restoration and allowance and space into the recipe, you're prolonging how long it's going to take to get to you. And not only are you prolonging how long it's going to take to get to you, you're taking the path of most resistance as opposed to being the path of least resistance, as opposed to being a cooperative component to what you want. You essentially become a pebble or a boulder or a roadblock on the path to what you want if you are not incorporating rest into your consideration of bringing things into your life, or just day-to-day living, or living in this kind of well-orchestrated, harmonious way. I see some of you guys have made it into the building. Let's do a little bit of hi, hey, hello, what's up, happy Thanksgiving. And then we'll get back deep into the topic of why rest is essential to manifestation. Rest is the missing piece of the recipe, and what we mean by rest and what that looks like day to day, and what you can expect if you are a little bit more gentle with yourself and allowing yourself to be fully restored before always trying to browbeat and pummel your way into what you're trying to do next. I see XIKRX in the building. It's always fun to see familiar faces in the building. Ove Mickelson Hull. Let me know where you're from. You know the deal. Come on in, drop where you're from in the comments. Let me know what you are sipping on. I see some new folks in the building. Really love your channel. I'm actually very, oh, from Norway. You're actually very what, Ove? Really love your channel. Greetings from Norway. Ooh, the international subbies. Our international subscribers show out quiet as it's kept more often than I feel like, vocally, I feel like, than our US subbies. So, you know, I have a little special place in my heart for our international subscribers. Thank you for being here, boo. Norway in the building. And so I see a couple more of you watching. Be sure to chime in the comments, engage the content, engage the channel. It's a free and easy way to show your love and support and help us get picked up on the YouTube algorithm. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. Would so appreciate the support, and make sure you're subscribed and you turn on the notification bell, ring that little notification bell, so you are notified whenever we go live or whenever we post videos. Yeah? Yes. Cheers. Clink, clink, clink. Okay. So the feed is looking like we're coming in good, which is fantastic. Okay. So tonight we are talking about why rest is essential to manifesting, period. Manifesting your dreams, manifesting anything. And I have down here in my notes, rest is essential to manifesting wealth, health, love, money, anything your heart desires. Rest is the primary ingredient. What do I mean by rest? What do I mean by rest? When I say rest, I'm talking about bringing mainly two parts of yourself into ease and into calmness and into silence. So ease, calmness, and silence. Two parts of your body. And it's mainly your mind, your thoughts, quieting your thoughts, quieting the chatter, quieting the to-do list, quieting the worries, quieting the concerns, quieting the anxiousness, quieting the depression, quieting the toxic productivity. I have to be doing something. I have to be, I didn't do enough today. Quieting that, and actually bringing your body itself into quiet, into ease, into silence. So as you notice, when I'm saying rest, I don't mean sitting on the couch and looking at the television and letting the TV program your mind, your conscious and your subconscious mind while you zone out on it. Not what I'm talking about. It doesn't mean mindlessly scrolling on the phone and thinking that because you're laying in bed scrolling that you're actually resting. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about actually turning your mind off so that your mind steps out of the way of your manifestations coming in. Because our minds have a tendency, if you notice, to always be thinking about the worst case scenario. Always be thinking about the thing you have to do next or that you didn't finish doing or you must do next. And we're programmed in a capitalistic society where we're programmed that we are nothing if we are not producing, that we are nothing if we are not working some sort of job, whether it be a 9 to 5 or some sort of hustle culture where you're grinding, 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 the grinding don't stop, never not working. You know, when we're programmed with that conditioning to be essentially plugged into the matrix and slaves to this constant crushing grind of work and productivity, this toxic productivity. When you are in the when you have been born and bred in those societies, your mind is already conditioned to that through the television, through your schooling, through movies, through social media, through regular media, through music, through celebrities, through politicians, through your parents, through your baby boomer parents who were quite okay with working from the day they were born until they reach 65 or 70 if they live that long. So everything about our society tells us that you must be working, you must be grinding, and you are nothing if you are not. And so it is slightly a little bit of a revolutionary act to say, actually, let me rest. I am worthy of rest. I am worthy of rest. My body needs rest. My mind needs rest. I need to be restored through rest. And so, not watching the TV and Netflixing and chill or scrolling mindlessly on some sort of app, but actually bringing your mind into silence, into calmness. How I usually like to look at it is, it's almost like if you've ever watched somebody put a baby to sleep, or if you've actually put a baby to sleep, you know how the baby's whining and going, and the mom or the dad, whoever's putting the baby to sleep, they take their time. They have so much patience with the baby, and they give so much time, and they just keep rocking the baby and letting the baby know that it's okay to rest. It's okay to rest. It's okay to relax. You're crying because you're tired. You have to rest. You have to rest. And this is how I see my mind when I'm really trying to rest and when I'm really trying to get into this meditative state, is that I will rock myself not to sleep, but into a state of silence of my mind and being very patient with my mind as I let go of all of the worries and the mind chatter and the things I didn't get done today and what I need to do next and what didn't happen and what did she say to me and what did he say to me and I didn't really like that, and all of the things that your mind will carry on with. Rocking my mind into a place of silence, into a place of rest, into a place of ease for a period of time. And that's what I mean by rest. That's what we mean by rest. When you do that, you step out of your own way. You step out of your own way because all of that activity in your mind actually serves to disrupt the vibration that you're trying to bring yourself in, so that when you're manifesting, your attempt is to bring your personal vibration, your personal essence, your personal emotions into vibrational resonance with that which you want. So if you want wealth, what is the vibrational resonance of wealth? Well, wealth is ease. Wealth is relaxation. Wealth is worry free. Wealth is a little bit of freedom. Wealth is liberation. I'm not talking about this hustle grind wealth that they put on TV. I'm talking about real wealth, like the real quiet wealth, like the millionaire next door that you didn't know was a millionaire because they're not wearing big chains and driving big cars and living in big mansion. They just chilling in their wealth. So the true vibrational essence of wealth, of comfort, of stability, you know what I mean? If things are working seamlessly and harmoniously in your life, If you were trying to attempt to match the vibrational frequency of that, you would have to bring that into your life currently. And if you have the mind, like most of us have, this capitalistic must be going, can't rest, gotta hustle mindset, then you will never be in vibrational resonance with true wealth, with true ease, with true harmony, with true stability, with true peace. If I really was to tell you that whole hustle mentality and that toxic productivity mindset that they have a lot of us conditioned to do is really not the mindset of the wealthy. It's the mindset of the middle class and the working class. It's the mindset of the factory workers and the 9 to 5ers. They want to keep the majority of us deeply rooted in that work, hustle, grind culture because they want to buoy that middle class so that those who work on a wealthy level are there, and then the majority of the people are in that grind hustle, have to work till I get 65 kind of mentality. So the conversation tonight has slipped a little bit into wealthy versus middle class, and I'm not trying to make that distinction. What I'm trying to make the distinction of is that be a little bit more mindful, especially today, the day after Thanksgiving, National Leftover Day, and all of that, when we do have a little bit of peace before we have to get into Christmas and Hanukkah and New Year's and Kwanzaa and all of that, is actually take this time to rest and to actually quiet your mind and to allow what you want to come in for you, to make your mind step out of the way, step out of the way of you want, so that you are actually a cooperative component to what you want. You're not only on the path of least resistance, you are the path of least resistance to that which you want when you are able to bring your mind and your body into a place of ease, of silence, of rest, of peace, of worry freeness, of liberation, of peace, of freedom. Does that make sense? I see you guys in the comments. Shall I hop over there and see what's going on? Over saying, great advice. I got so addicted to social media, Facebook, Instagram. I've been deleting those apps for 4 weeks. For 4 weeks, wow. And I feel my mind, body feeling so much better. My mind is so much better. 100% of one of the things, I thank you for bringing up the concept of addiction. Thank you for bringing up the concept of addiction. One of the main reasons that I told you guys at the top of the broadcast why I wanted to talk about rest this week is because I have been working on it this week personally. I've been working on rest, relaxation, allowing, leaning back into the seat of my soul and allowing things to work in my favor, allowing the well-being to be obvious and present in my life instead of putting my sights and my attention on the things that are not working and trying to fix them, putting them down and leaning back, and it's switching my sights, switching my perspective onto the things that are working so seamlessly, so well in my life in order to amplify that in my life. Because that which what you put your attention on is what amplifies. And one of the things that I noticed was that I was on one of the social media apps, and I feel like it probably was Instagram. And that day I woke up and I said, okay, what do I want to do today? And it was something very easy, like, chill, go to the gym, do my meditation, just a very easy flowing day. And I found myself looking on one of the apps, and probably Instagram, may have been YouTube. And I found myself feeling a little bit riled up, like, oh my God, maybe I should be doing something a little bit different for today. Like that, again, that toxic productivity, always having to be producing. And if you're not producing, you're actually not, something is wrong. And so I said, I don't like that feeling. It just felt like pressure, right? I don't like that feeling. So I'm going to meditate. And when I sat down to meditate, as soon as I sat down to meditate, the feeling that came over my body, because mind you, when you meditate, you quiet your mind so you can feel things. There's more sensitivity to what's actually happening in your body and your vibrational essence. So after feeling that pressure to like I should be doing something different. I said, let me meditate and see what let me quiet my mind a little bit. And as soon as I sat to quiet my mind, I felt this feeling like a it felt like it dawned on me that it was an addiction. It was this compelling, it felt like an addiction. It felt like something that was uh had a hold and was like winding its way into like my body. It felt like something that was something that was controlling me externally, to pulling me, urging me to do what these people were doing on Instagram. And I was like, it dawned on me. Before that, it just kind of felt like, when I was awake and not really paying attention, it just felt like, oh my God, I should maybe be doing something different. And it just felt like my mind was trying to calculate what I should do. But when I sat to quiet my mind, right outside of that feeling, it felt like an addiction. It felt like an addiction. And I said, oh, shoot, it's an addiction. It is this addiction to productivity. It's this addiction to social media. It's an addiction to comparison and seeing what your neighbors are doing and letting your mind run away with you into so many different directions of what you should be doing and why you should be doing it and why you should be doing it better and why it's not good enough and why you need to do one more thing and all of that. It was this addiction. It was this addiction. And I have some people, in my family and friends and things like that who have been addicts. And I always would think, and because it's been in my family, I always am a little bit like, I wonder, those types of things sometimes are genetic, can run in families. And so I always would think to myself, this is a little bit of personal side note story. I would always think to myself, like, damn, am I addicted to something? Like, what am I addicted to? And I always thought it might have been something having to do with food or something having to do with maybe like sugar or something like that. Cause I was never really addicted to like coffee or alcohol or drugs or anything like that. But I always thought, okay, well, maybe it has something to do with sugar. Cause I had like a mean sweet tooth. And, so I always said, okay, well, maybe I don't have any, maybe I'm addicted to like sugar or something. But when I sat into my meditation and I felt that writhing, that addiction, that feeding on that stress chemical that was pumped into my body from looking at the social media, and then automatically be pulled into this place of comparison, and pulled into this place of stress, and pulled into this place of I should be doing and producing and doing something like that. I recognize it as an addiction. And I said, whoa, that's what addiction might kind of feel like. It was almost like this outside of body experience that had grabbed, like, when somebody drapes you. This is what in Jamaica, if somebody grabs up your shirt like this and they drape you, they drape you. That's what the feeling of it was. And so I said, oh my God. Now, mind you, I don't mean to diminish anybody's addiction to anything, any serious things. I don't, that this is not an uncompassionate or unsympathetic conversation. This is just a little bit of a mental comparison from my perspective, right? And so I don't mean to denigrate anybody's true if anybody is struggling with addiction. Not here to compare, what do they say? Who had it? The struggle Olympics. This is not the struggle Olympics, and we're not going to compare who has it worse. That's not the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation about being addicted to that stress and being addicted to that social media pressure to perform in ways that are unnatural to the human body, that is a real addiction. And it is a real chemical release and dopamine hit and things released into your body that we are low-key addicted to. And you may not even realize it. And the only reason why I fully realized it and have been working on actively recovering from, putting space between, noticing when I'm being compelled to do something that I truly don't want to do, but just to do something, to be doing something, to feel like I'm doing something. I've been actively working on, like that baby, like putting that baby to rest, not doing that. and noticing when it comes up and noticing who on social media I'm looking at when I get that sense, and blocking and unsubscribing and deleting them, and looking at whose emails come in and automatically give me that stress and unsubscribing from their email lists, and looking at which social media platforms make me feel that way, or which things I don't watch a lot of TV, but I watch a lot of YouTube. So maybe it's, who's on YouTube making me feel that way. All of that being noticed when that thing is feeding into that addiction of over productivity, of mindless productivity, of mindless comparison, and feeling not enoughness, and worryingness, and saying I should be doing more, and feeling that I'm unworthy of well-being or abundance or wealth or ease or relaxation if I'm not overproducing like some sort of industrial revolution machine, or some sort of computer matrix plugged into something, realizing that it's unnecessary for me to do that, and disconnecting myself from that chemical addiction that it creates in the body when you absorb, when you are being programmed by that type of media. So, thank you for bringing up the whole part about this of being addicted to that toxic productivity, and being addicted to that programming that we must be overproducing day to day. Rest is the secret recipe. Rest, true rest, true rest. What else are y'all saying in the comments? We got BJ in the building. DB in the building. Imagine the time without social media. We get caught up and consumed by so much toxicity, our mental well-being can turn on us. It's happened to me. I've pulled back from social media. Yeah. Yeah. It's everything. It's social media. Social media is the one that's like blatant in our face because we play a bigger role in it, right? We play a bigger role in the addiction to it, because social media just doesn't come on the television. We actually have to open the app on our phone. So there is an engagement part of that social media that makes it even more addictive and binding. And everyone on there is playing into what we're conditioned to play into, from television to movies to how we've just grown up as society, which is like, if you are not working like a Hebrew slave, if you are not working like an African slave, if you are not working like a workhorse, then what are you doing? You know what I mean? And there's a time and place for everything. And so tonight on our Friday night kickback, week 47, consistent all the way, headed toward week 52, 1 year of live each and every Friday night. Tonight, we are talking about rest as a revolutionary act in a capitalistic society. Rest as an essential ingredient to your manifestations. Yes? Cheers. Clink, 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 clink. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. What else are you guys saying in the comments? Addiction, I would define as obsession, compulsion. Yeah, I definitely felt that when I got off of the social media, and I was like, oh my God, I feel like I should probably be doing something different. It wasn't until, because I went right into meditation after that I was like, let me quiet my mind. And I could feel the feeling of it in my body. I could feel the feeling of it in my body, and it felt like a compulsion. It scared me a little bit because it felt like some sort of external force, twisting. There was this feeling of twisting. You know what I mean? It was like a writhing, twisting kind of feeling. And I was like, whoa, no, 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 no. So then I decided to my decision at that point was like, oh, okay, rest. Rest it is. Allowing relaxation, peace, silence. It is. and actively standing against that compulsion or that obsession to produce and hustle and grind yourself down without considering that everything that you desire comes in it comes into you with ease and when you allow it to come in, when you are rested enough for it to come in. I turned the TV off 12 years ago and don't miss it at all. I TV for me ended up being disconnected when I moved to London. When I lived in London for a year and a half, a year and a few months, um, I didn't have a television, and TV is not a big thing where I was and where I was studying and things like that, and so I didn't have a television. And then when I moved from London to DC, I didn't have a television, didn't need it. I just wasn't compelled to watch anything on it. I had just done a year and a half without it, and so definitely didn't miss it at all. And then my family was coming for Thanksgiving, funny enough, and this was around 2015. My family was coming for Thanksgiving, and I was like, oh, let me buy a TV because I feel like they were coming with a baby, like a kid, and I was like, I probably should have a TV. Like I can't, invite someone over and then I don't have a television, to somewhat entertain them, when, things happen. So I rushed and bought this big, television. And it's still the only one television that I now have that I've moved up and down with. And now, I should probably, most people, would probably have 3 televisions and I still only have that one, So television has not been a big deal for me either, since probably about 2013 for me. Keith Wainwright in the building. How are you? Hey, Kels, how are you tonight? I'm back in Atlanta. Hey, Keith, I'm good. How are you? So, what else are we talking about? Tonight, we are talking about rest is essential to manifesting your dreams. Rest is the secret missing ingredient. If you've been trying to bring certain things into your life and for some reason they take you much longer than usual or something's not quite working out, try rest. Try rest. Try relaxation. Try getting out of your own way. Try sitting back and allowing the well-being. Allowing the well-being. There was something else that came to me this week as I was working on rest for my goal for this week. And it was energetic allowance. Energetic allowance. Those are the words that came to my mind. And let me explain what that feels like. Energetic allowance is when you want something, when you say you want something, there's a couple of ways that you can go about it. When I was younger, I would normally, if I wanted something, so say for instance, I wanted a job, I would what was pumped into my head from my parents, from my father particularly, was it's a job to find a job. It's a job to find a job. So that meant you had to check the newspapers, check online. You had to get on I didn't have a car. So it was get on the bus and go down there and walk into each store. This time I'm like 17. So I'm trying to get a job at Wet Seal or 579 or Bed Bath and Beyond or Target or something like that. Something that a 17-year-old would kind of do. And so it was like, it's a job to find a job. So I had to get on the bus, go down there, walk into every place, fill out all the applications, call the people, get online, Like it was a job. I would have went out and I would have hustled and I would have gotten it. And that is definitely one way to do things, right? Seeing 33 on the clock, if you're into numbers like I am. That's definitely one way to do it, to go out and to hustle and to try to do it with your manual labor, right? And that's what they teach most of us to do, right? But there's also another way that I've been working on and that I am very optimistic that is going to work in my favor. And it's a leveraged way of doing it. And when I say leveraged, it's meaning a way that to accomplish what you want that gives you a better outcome than you just doing it with your own human capabilities. Right. And so how I did, finding the job, trying to do it, trying to get on the bus, go down there, go get the applications, fill out the applications, call the people back, go back a week later, da, 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 da. All of that manual labor. That's the normal way of doing it, and that's the human way. And there's not much leverage in that, right? Because it's just me doing it, you know. And you can kind of get angry and frustrated with that way, right? Because you could be like, well, give me an opportunity, other person, and why won't they give me that opportunity, and what's wrong with me, and is my resume not good, and did I not interview well, and should I lie on my resume, or did they find out that I lie, or should I ask for more money, or did I ask for enough money? It's a lot of complication when you do it that way. The other way that I'm testing out right now is to, for example, would be to do it in a leveraged way, and that would be to decide what I want. So say, okay, I want a job, and it's a little bit like allowing allowing the job to come in for me, right? So it is, it's hard to explain in words. A lot of the teachers that I watch, they explain it very well, but I'm trying to explain it here and make it make sense. So bear with me. So energetic allowance. So to me, those were the words that came in when I realized, like, oh, that's what it feels like. So it feels like deciding what you want. Okay, so say for instance, I want, that same job at Target, or at Bed Bath and Beyond, or 579 or Wet Seal or something like that. So deciding what you want, and then in your body, or in your mind, being a cooperative component to that what you want. So instead of using your mind to essentially be a roadblock to what you want, and when you use your mind to be a roadblock, it's when you're worrying, and when you're stressing, and when you're trying too hard, and when you're doing too much, and when you're hustling too hard, because it gives the energy of, one, you don't feel you're not deserving of what you've asked for. You don't understand the concept of ask and it is given. You don't have full belief that you are provided for, and you're taken care of, and that you are seen, and that your every desire is understood, and it's on its way to you. And your job is to prepare the vibrational essence, the vibrational atmosphere for that which you want to bloom around you. Energetic allowance, allowing the space for it to come in with you come in for you in perfect timing. Having the faith that that is true for you. Think of energetic allowance like a farmer. If a farmer planted a seed, and he didn't have belief that that seed was going to bloom in a certain amount of time, if he didn't have the knowledge that the seed was going to bloom and reap the rewards, or reap the fruit in a certain amount of time, the way he would have done it, if we were in that first case scenario where you're going out after the job, is he would have planted the seed, and then he would have watered it the same day, and then he'd have been looking at it like, where is it? And then maybe he would have like dug around it and been like, okay, maybe the soil is too loose. And then he would have been like, okay, well, maybe let me put some fertilizer on it. And then, well, maybe let me call somebody else and see what they think about it. And then maybe he would have been like, the next day it would have been like, and doing too much, and not allowing the seed that it planted to bloom in the time that is allotted for it. A lot of the ideologies about leverage and law of attraction and manifestation take a lot of the foundation from nature. Seeing as how we're animals, sometimes I think we forget that. I think we think we're computers or machines or something in some factory or something. But in actuality, we're animals. And a lot of things, you can just look at nature and see how things are actually supposed to go. So instead of being that farmer that is digging up the seed 2 days after they plant it, because they say, where is my corn, or where is my flour? It's not being like that, and not doing too much and trying too hard and essentially disrupting what's happening, right? It's not that. It's taking the opposite approach of planting the seed by deciding what you want, and then being ready to be ready, preparing vibrationally for what you want to come in, but not in a disruptive or harsh, or where is it, or why is it, or what's taking so long, or is it not going to come, or did I not do the right thing? Not in that mentally disruptive, worry, trying too hard place, but in the place of, all right, I've decided what I want. Wouldn't that, okay, just, maybe I should go out and maybe introduce myself to some people, or let me get my clothes prepared because when I start working I'm gonna have to need these. Okay, or let me get my routine together because when I start working out it's gonna have to be this way. And you know what, let me get my rest, let me make sure I'm well rested because when I start that job I'm gonna need to be rested and I want to be my best and things like that. And oh, actually today I feel inspired to apply for a couple more things, so I'll do that today. You know what I mean? Or actually the next day I'm inspired to follow up, so I'll just do that. And doing your work, going towards your what you want in ease, and allowing the leverage of nature, of the divine, of God to work with you, knowing that the seeds that you plant must bloom, giving it space, being allowing, being energetically allowing of what you want to bloom for you, as opposed to being that first farmer of beating down and then pulling out your hair, wondering where is it. Seeds don't grow that fast in nature. So when you plant a seed of what you want, when you decide of what you want, give it an opportunity to take root first. It roots down for it to bloom up. And so that has been my work this week of like, oh, energetically allowing, being, not only being on the path of least resistance, being the path of least resistance for what I want to come in, holding a container of belief, being in full belief, in full confidence, in full certainty as I rest, as I chill out, as I don't do things that I shouldn't be doing just because I'm addicted to toxic productivity, just because I'm addicted to capitalistic, plugged into the matrix, and I should be doing something that actually doesn't serve, but actually serves to hinder what I actually want from coming in. You know what I mean? So just being very cognizant and mindful of where I am energetically as I allow my seeds of intention, as I allow my seeds of desire to take root first going down and then to bloom up. To bloom up. Does that make sense? That is what rest is helping you to do. So just like when you plant a seed, sun is necessary, soil is necessary, water is necessary. When you plant a seed of intention of what you're trying to manifest, rest is a necessary ingredient. Deciding is a necessary ingredient. Belief and hopefulness is a necessary ingredient. Being ready to be ready is a necessary ingredient. That's what we mean when you say, when you're setting the vibrational environment for your desire to come in. And the higher and more stable, more peaceful, more optimistic, more joyful, more appreciative environment that you set for your manifestation to come in, one, the quicker it comes in, and two, the more mind-blowing it is. Because the leverage of the divine, the leverage of spirit, the leverage of manifestation is that it will, if you set the environment as well as you can, it will come in not as you asked, but greater than you could have ever imagined. Greater than you could have ever imagined. Because that is the leverage of working with the divine, of working with spirit, of manifesting in peace and rest and calm and energetic allowance, as opposed to doing it the first way that we said, which was only human, my muscles, and I gotta beat the pavement and hustle and grind. And if I didn't lift it, then it won't get lifted. And if I didn't do it, then it won't get done. That can only, that can get you some success, but that can only get you from A to B, B to D, B to C. It can get you far, okay. But imagine what type of leverage that you can have, potentially. Just imagine what type of leverage could be there if you did it in a little bit of a more aligned with nature type of way. Does that make sense? Kels, it's time for live call-in Zoom show. I know you've been saying that, Keith. We might get into that. We might get into that next year. We might get into that next year. We're on week 47 of our Friday night kickbacks, where we go live each and every Friday night to talk about the topics you guys selected. But honestly, for the last 2 weeks, it's been the topics that I selected because certain things I just wanted to talk about. Plus, we're in the holiday season and I've been traveling and things like that. So I just talk about the topics that have been heavy on my mind and in my world for that week, in hopes that it resonates with the collective. Because I know if I'm going through it, I know that the collective must be going through it in some part. And if you ain't going through it now, you might have went through it last week. And if you ain't go through it last week, you might be going through it next week. So just know that if you are here watching this video, first things first, smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. And two, if you are here watching, just know that we are connected on some level. The ISKELS community, the ISKELS collective is connected. And we are around here learning from the collective wisdom of the community. Yes. So tonight we're talking about rest is essential to manifesting your dreams. Rest is the missing ingredient. If what you want ain't manifesting, rest is the missing ingredient. Okay. We talked about first and foremost, bringing your mind and your body into silence, into ease, into peace. That's what we mean by rest. Allowing well-being, allowing the divine, allowing spirit, allowing God, allowing your higher self, allowing the universe to work in your favor, allowing the leverage of the universe to work in your favor. And the only way that you can allow that is if you lean back and allow some things to happen without you trying to be the puppeteer in everything. Not everything is you. Some things is leverage. Some things is, let me lean back. I've already stated what I want to God. I've already written it down. I've already put it on my vision board. I've already prayed about it. I've already prayed about it. So it's coming in for me. So my job now is to rest and to chill and to hold the belief in ease that is designed and destined for me simply because I've asked for it. And then to look for the evidence of its unfolding, to look for the clues and the patterns and the breadcrumbs of the evidence of it unfolding, be able to see it, even if it doesn't quite seem like exactly what you asked for. Because the divine has a tendency to deliver to you greater than you could have ever imagined. So if you asking for a Honda and the divine has designed for you an infinity, pay attention to the path. Pay attention to the path. You walk up to the Honda dealership and you notice that it's a Honda/Infinity dealership. You go inside asking for an Accord and they say, we ain't got no Accords, but we got an Infinity that's around the same price. You want to look at it. And here you go saying, no, that's not what I wanted. Pay attention when the divine is trying to deliver to you greater than you could have ever imagined. You ask for a safe vehicle. You ask for a Honda. Divine might be trying to give you a Range Rover. Be open, relaxed, and hold the belief and hold the faith that what you've asked for, what you're trying to manifest, what you feel like is for you is on its way. Give it an opportunity to root down as you step back. Quiet your mind and let it take root like the seed in the ground, like the farmer waiting for his corn to bloom or his sunflowers to bloom, and not digging up the seed a week after you plant it because you can't see what you planted. Rest. In a capitalistic society like where we live, rest is necessary and a revolutionary act. It's a revolutionary self-care act, an act of love. An act of love and faith and deservedness, knowing that you're deserving of what you asked for, so much so that you could chill and rest and wait for it to come in, or wait for the next inspired action to take on the path to what you want to come in. We talked about quieting your mind, allowing space, unplugging from capitalism, unplugging from that addiction to that toxic productivity that you can feel, that's amplified by social media, and it's amplified by television, amplified by music, amplified by celebrities like Kim Kardashian and P. Diddy, all of them. Quiet as it's kept. I'm gonna say this, and I'm just observing this right now. I do believe that times change, right? Times change. We know that. Before there was no social media, now there's social media. Before there was no iPhone, I this, I that. Now there's I this, I that, iPhone, everything. Things change, right? And I kind of do believe that old paradigm before things, there was no other way to do things that most people knew of, that most of the middle class that was out in the masses to do things. There was no other way to do it but to grind your way to it. It was this American dream that they gave us, that they force fed us. And not only the Americans, the world. Everybody in the world knows the American dream. That's the biggest marketing campaign in the world, the American dream. The American dream is the biggest marketing and advertising campaign in the world. And I do believe before there was all this technology, you could do your little work, do your little job. Only the husband had to work. The wife would stay home, take care of the kids, take care of the home. And then everything could balance and you could actually afford a home and afford a car and afford, 2.5 kids and a dog and a white picket fence. And you could do that. And America used to be like that. But these days, with the pace of technology and the pace of everything, things are different. You're not able, it's like almost everybody has to have this two-family income and everybody, the wife and everybody has to be working like a slave, like some sort of industrial revolution Model T conveyor belt every single day. And I would say that we've gotten to the point in our collective consciousness, we've gotten to the point in time where that model no longer works. And so we have to elevate our thinking. We have to level up our thinking in being able to accomplish certain things. And right now, what folks are talking about, and I'm sharing with the collective, I'm sharing with the It's Chaos Collective, is lean back and allow more. Practice your manifestation skills so that you're clear about what you want and you can lean back and allow it to coalesce for you. And it's literally the opposite of what we've all been governed to do with this American dream. Partly, if I pick up the sense well, is because times have changed and things are now doable that were not doable before, energetically. So unplug from capitalism. Toxic productivity is an addiction. Toxic productivity, this compulsion, this obsession with producing as if you are some sort of machine, is an addiction. And it masks, I didn't talk about this earlier, it may mask chronic anxiety, chronic depression, neuroses. If you're high functioning anxiety, high functioning depression, high functioning alcoholism, high functioning neuroses, and you're producing, everyone thinks everything is all good. Meanwhile, your anxiety is through the roof, your depression is through the roof, you're neurotic as hell. You're neurotic as hell, but everyone claps for you because you're producing, you're trying to sell something, you're trying to make some money, you're on that rat race. You're in that rat race, so everything must be good. It's an addiction and it's obsession, it's a compulsion. And pay attention to it in your life. Because times have changed and it's not 100% necessary to be in that rat race, to be keeping up with the Joneses, to be in that obsessive, compulsive, toxic productivity. Sometimes rest, sometimes ease, sometimes peace, sometimes not comparing yourself to others, sometimes silence, sometimes rocking your mind and your thoughts to sleep with patience, like a parent rocking a baby to sleep. Sometimes quieting your body and actually feeling the sensations, quieting your mind so much so that you can actually feel the sensations in your body, so that you can know what to do next without racking your brain, so that you can leverage the wisdom of your body. The only way that you can leverage the wisdom of your body and your intuition is to quiet your thinking, chattering mind. The wisdom and the guidance and the direction of your body and your intuition will not yell over an obsessive, chattering, overworked, under rest, addicted, compulsive mind. You must rest in silence and quiet your mind first to get the full wisdom of your body and your intuition. Okay? With that being said, I'm going to take a peek in the comments and then I'm going to go rest. Then I'm going to go rest because the way the throat chakra is feeling, I need to take a little bit of sip of the water. You know what I mean? Hydration. Yes. Cheers. Clink, 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 clink. Keith still in the comments. Okay, great. Keith is saying, I am fantastic. Fantastic, Keith. We're going to work on that live call-in show or that Zoom show. We're also still working on the podcast. And we're also thinking about what we're going to get into for 2023 because we are coming up fast and furious on week 52 of our Friday Night Kickbacks. And that will be that year that we promised. With that being said, I do these videos so you know you're not out here alone in this sometimes crazy living, loving, dating, traveling, leveling up, ascending world. If this is your first time here, I'd love to have you subscribe. Subscribe. I'll wait. Smash that like button. Free and easy way to support the content, and ring that notification bell so you know when we go live, you know when we drop our travel videos, our topical videos and everything like that. We have a lot of travel videos, brand spanking new videos on the channel, and the next one coming up is going to be New York. And I am heading down to Miami for Art Basel, so you'll definitely get some content from the 305. All right, pretty soon, seeing 55 on the clock if you're into numbers like I am. With that being said, I appreciate y'all being here with us for week 47 of our Friday Night Kickbacks, talking about rest as an essential part of your level up, rest as an essential part of your manifesting your dreams, rest as the missing ingredient if your manifestation is not coming in. All right, guys, thanks for being here. And I will see you again next week for week 48. Bye, guys.